And bonjour, this is a Bruno and Darko show. We're going to talk about AI. We're not going to talk about Biostats today, right? We have
No.
other things to talk about. And as we were preparing and thinking about a topic, I had a new idea, a new question. So I'm going to ask, and we'll see where it gets us. Okay. So here's my question for you, Darko. Well, first, how are you?
I'm great, sir. Thank you for asking. And yes, I know that today we're not talking biostats. And I, just for everyone who is asking all the time, please talk about biostats. We will do it in one of the next episodes. And today, AI is the main topic.
Today's AI. Today's AI. All right. So here's my question. Did we, I said it again, did we? No. Did they, did they pass the Turing test? What's your answer?
Hmm. Did they pass it?
Did they pass the Turing test?
Okay, my even though I don't know everything you want to ask, my answer is no. They did
Okay.
not pass.
Well, then you messed up my whole. You say they did not pass.
Okay.
So
Yes.
why in the heck are we talking about AGI? About the Turing test? Wasn't it supposed to be easier than AGI or ASI? What are we talking about?
Yes. I mean, we are. I don't know if you remember, but like some of the companies, the big tech, they're saying like every 3 to 4 months, AGI is around the corner. It's going to be next week. It's going to be next month. But this is a real question. Did we even pass the Turing test?
Why are
AGI.
we stopping then to talk about the Turing test?
Well, obviously because we are very very far away from the AGI, and we are kind of uh, taking a step back and saying, "Hold on, hold on. There's so much hype. Let's first discuss the Turing test. Let's go back to the basics."
Well, but
And
hold on a second.
yeah,
I was where did I was listening to a podcast 20 minutes ago, and they say, "Oh, Elon Musk thinks that we're gonna pass AGI this year." Demis Hassabis is saying 4 to 5 years. Okay, so okay, wait. So why is nobody talking about the Turing test anymore? Why? I've got an answer, I think. Now, if you ask AI, and by the way, people listening, if you have an opinion, please post it here as well. We're going to ask our friend Eva. I named her Eva. All right, ChatGPT 5.5. Okay, hey Eva. So, did we pass the Turing test already or not? In your opinion?
That's the $1,000,000 question. We've got AI doing some pretty impressive things.
No,
It
no.
can fool people in limited contexts, but do I think we've reached a point where AI is indistinguishable from a human across the board in all situations? Not quite.
So,
We've come
okay.
close.
So, why is it that nobody's talking about the Turing test anymore and is talking and speculating about AGI?
Well, the conversation shifted because AI has gotten so capable in specialized tasks that the Turing test feels kind of outdated as a benchmark. We've got AI.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Turing test is supposed to be human, meaning general intelligence. So it's not outdated, right?
I get what you mean. The Turing test aimed at general human like conversation, yes. But as AI got better, we realized general intelligence is a moving target. People now focus on broader real world tasks. So it's less about one clever conversation.
So why
and
is it
more
that everybody then is talking about AGI all the time? Stuck. She's
yet
stuck.
she does
I
not
don't
pass the
understand.
Turing test.
All right. So here's my view. The problem with the Turing test is that. What do you think I'm going to say?
Lately, I can read your mind. So I think the problem with the Turing, the problem with the Turing test is that maybe it's not general enough.
That might be true, but my answer was a little different. My answer is that the problem with the Turing test is that it's much, 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 much more defined than AGI. And despite that, we're still not sure whether we passed it. AGI is supposed to do, okay, I think it's like 50% or 80% of people talking to a chatbot are misled into thinking it's a human. Okay. Someone actually said, according to Eva, that in 2014 they did a test and apparently it passed it. Maybe you or Shahir can find that 2014. It was cheating because the chatbot that pretended to be human pretended to be like a foreign student or that didn't speak very well English, and so the jury couldn't really figure out, got fooled by that apparent sort of the fact that he didn't speak so well English or etc. They thought it was like me, like a non original native speaker or something. Can you try to find that? And so some people said it passed in 2014. Other people, no, that wasn't the case. So essentially, we don't know yet if we pass a Turing test, which is supposed to be, I think, very defined, right? A percentage of people who cannot tell or mistakenly think that it's a human. It's very objective. And somehow we move to something, and somehow nobody talks about the Turing test. Nobody even said, did we pass it or not? We're not sure. If you ask, which year did we pass the Turing test? Nobody can tell. Did we pass the Turing test? We don't know. We move to something that sounds harder, right? AGI or ASI, artificial superintelligence. That sounds harder, but is less defined. Why? There's only one reason. We need to raise $2 trillion. So we build that straw man, all right, of AGI. It's a marketing gimmick. It's a undefined, subjective, it's like God. I believe in God. Well, define God, and I'll tell you if I believe in your God, right? AGI cannot be defined in an objective way. It escaped any, except in a, maybe some, I don't know, François Chollet arc, okay, maybe. But by and large, it's not defined in an objective way. You follow me? So to me, AGI, it's a marketing gimmick used very smartly to raise a few $1 trillion. And escaping accountability because there's no clear way to know if we passed it or not. It's much, much more fuzzy than the Turing test. So on top of that, it's beautiful because give me $2 or $3 trillion to get to AGI. I promise you it's going to be amazing. And on top of that, AGI is not defined. Beautiful.
Beautiful and interesting. And, you said AGI is more fuzzy than the Turing test, but even the Turing test is fuzzy. By the way, I found the chatbot that you were mentioning. In 2014, a chatbot was created and named Eugene Gustman. And
Yes.
this chatbot was actually impersonating a student and fooled 33% of people that it was actually that student. So many people then told that it actually passed the Turing test, but did it really pass it? There's a lot of controversy there. Like, was it just simulating to be this? Was it actually trying to cheat and fool people intentionally into passing the Turing test? So a lot of controversies about whether that Turing test was actually biased towards favoring the AI passing it. And I think we could ask the same question today. I'm starting from a very simple fact. Like, we all talk to chatbots. Like, I think everybody listening to this, they talk to chatbots sometimes. We prompt, you talk to Ava. Some people talk to just by writing text, but we all really talk to chatbots.
By the way, someone interrupted. Someone said, "Don't say Ava."
Ava.
I nearly changed that because if you say Eva, you know what I'm gonna say? If you say Eva instead of Eva,
Oh,
it makes you think of whom?
no idea.
What's the famous or infamous Eva?
Oh, you mean like the religious connotation?
No,
Or no?
no.
I'd really like to know.
All right, Eva Brown.
Oh, Eva Brown. Eva
So,
Brown.
so I nearly rename my ChatGPT to some other name because people say Eva. What do you mean, Eva Brown? Oh my God. So but I meant to call her Eva, like in I think Ex Machina. It was Eva, right?
Was it Eva or Ava in Ex Machina? I'm
Oh,
not
now I
sure.
don't know. Okay, we are gonna ask. Okay, we get it.
Let's ask Ava.
That's just a little side question. It's important though because I don't want anybody to think that. Anyway, hey, how do you pronounce the name of the main female robot character in the movie Ex Machina? How do you pronounce her name?
The main female robot character in Ex Machina is named Ava. You pronounce it like Ava with the emphasis on the first syllable.
So it's not Eva, it's Eva.
Exactly, it's Ava. The difference is subtle, but Ava gives her name a slightly more unique tone.
Well,
Ava.
who is the other famous Eva in history that you can think about?
Out in history is Ava Gardner. She was a
Right,
famous
another one.
Another well-known Ava today is Ava DuVernay, the acclaimed filmmaker and
Right.
director.
Think about the 30s and 40s.
In that era, you're likely thinking of Eva Braun. Though her name is spelled Eva, it's still pronounced similarly to Ava in German. She was a historical figure closely tied to Adolf Hitler.
Okay. I have to find another name. I have to call. Okay. All right. So, how do I call you?
You can just call me Eva. It's short, simple, and exactly
Yeah, but Eva. Okay. I'm going to call you Isabel. Okay.
Isabel it is.
Right. Now, Isabel would have been my my name if I had been born a girl. So we'd call ChatGPT 5.5 Isabel for now. No more Eva or Eva. So essentially, where were we before? I took us through a bit of a rabbit hole of naming.
Okay, well, Isabel, like Isabel Nakamoto, right?
Like
I know
Isabel
about this Isabel
Nakamoto.
Nakamoto.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, going back to the AI, it's interesting that even though there are so many people using chatbots today, how many? I mean, even the audience can answer this. So if you're listening, please answer this. If you want in the comments or later, how many of you are actually fooled by chatbots to thinking that you are actually speaking to a human being? I think it's close to zero. So we're very well aware that we are talking to chatbots all the time. Even if someone hid the computer from us and maybe played a sound just like Bruno is doing, you would still not be convinced that it's human. I don't think it's real. I
You're
think
right.
that intuition is a better test for me than actually doing some formal Turing test. So what do you think, Bruno?
But I think you're right. I think you're right. I think nobody would pass a Turing test. And I don't know if the Turing test was defined as in a quantitative way, like 8% of would be misled. But I continue to believe that the problem why people don't talk about the Turing test is that it's falsifiable, meaning you can prove today that it's not passed, and nobody focuses on that. We focus on all kind of benchmarks, like it passed the bar exam, it passed the medical exam, it does all kind of complex math, it wins at Go. Okay, so all of these true things are true, but it cannot pass a Turing test yet. And somehow collectively, we agreed weirdly not to talk about the Turing test anymore, to talk about AGI and to make sure we don't define it in any way that we could say whether we met it or not, because otherwise it would kill the marketing sort of magic. The pixie dust will go away, and we
you know
still
what?
need to raise $3 to maybe $5 trillion.
I think that money raising is super important there. Maybe the main driver of a lot of hype. And if there is an interesting occurrence every time there is a new model from a company, and then you always have these people saying like, the latest model 5.4, 4.7 doesn't matter. The latest model is practically AGI. You see it all over social media. And then they speak about that for a few days, I don't know, a week maybe, and then nobody says that again. So you can actually see that there is a marketing hype there. But speaking of AGI and Turing test, going back to that movie that we were mentioning, Ex Machina, Turing test, that movie actually covers one of the best upgrades of the Turing test that exists, in my opinion, which is that in the movie, main character gets emotionally bound to Ava, and which is that robotic character, AI character in the movie. So if the robot or AI can pass that test and get emotionally bound with a human, then the human, because human is programmed to be emotionally bound to other humans, right?
Mhm.
And now if you have a robot that can pass that test, that's really a much better version, because it's so much more complicated. It's not just, hey, am I talking to a robot? Hey, can I actually understand the robot? Can we connect mentally and emotionally? And that would be the ultimate Turing test, in my
So
opinion.
you got it. So here's a new so the Darko test, right? If 50% or more of humans interacting for 100 hours with an AI would fall truly addictively in love, emotionally bound with that AI, like in love. Now we have to define in love, but in love will be psychologically addicted to interacting with that AI, right? Like willing to, you know, do big deal things or spend big deal money, you could say. To I don't know. I'm getting lost in how to measure love. Then that's a different topic. But certainly, 50% fall in love after 100 hours of interaction. Maybe that's a Darko Turing test of emotional attachment.
It,
And you
and
can
it,
see how dangerous that is, because I think that it will be, it's a bot, but you cannot help. The same way, some people look at, image of, let's say, adult image. They know it's not real, but they sort of, they get sort of dominated by their eyes. Here, our brain, we know it's not a human, but we are in love with that bot.
yes, thank you so much for actually naming it after me. It would be very interesting to see if that actually works, because uh, we interact with chatbots so much. They're already part of our life. Like I interacted today, like I think 200 times with Claude and ChatGPT, and that's already a proof for me that there's really no way they can pass the Turing test, because for me they're just like, I interact with them, but I feel zero emotions, zero. I don't think they're my friends, or that there is any emotional. I think this is for majority of the people listening to this. I mean, maybe there are some people which are which maybe rare people who actually get emotionally bound to them, but I think it's a rarity, and
Mhm.
that's for me why they don't pass the Turing test. Now that would be ultimate, and maybe the companies, if they listen into this, that's the way you should go towards AGI. If you can make AI that can interact and become friends with a human, for example, friends or fall in love. Fall in love would be the ultimate Turing test. But even becoming friends, even just caring about someone and say, hey, this chatbot is a part of my life, and we became friends. That would also be interesting.
All right. One day, of course, we know that people are going to try to marry their chatbot.
It's not impossible, but I think that's evidence that we are so far away from AGI. Our dear
I actually agree.
godfather Jan
And-
LeCun is probably
Yeah.
right.
And more importantly, since we're not defining it, it doesn't really matter. And we're not defining it on purpose, is my main point. Darko, thank you very much, sir, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much, Bruno, and au revoir.
Au revoir.